broadcast live.
Suangilistuda, bonke bayabuza, bonke bayarapha kulolana nesikhundla. Abanye bazibuza, sikule nkundla. Thala abanye bona bebangazi Ms Supa. Bethi for sure ngisele nokukhula. Ingomthakatha ngisele nemkhuba.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, guys, technology, hey? That's all there is.
Why ufike late?
No, benikhona ngimele nabangekho. So then I was like, okay, I'll see when you guys go live. And then this request to go live button wasn't allowing me to flourish. Then I was trying to just sort that out so I could hear you guys speak, but I couldn't join the conversation.
Okay, so I'm gonna start it like this, right? Introductions. So everyone that doesn't know who Ms Supa is, you know, I mean, I was speaking to Nomuzi this week, and she was just making it clear. So just introduce us. Let's start and get to know who Ms Supa is. Yeah.
Ms Supa is just, I'm here. Ms Supa is a rapper that has been in the game for a bit of a minute. I've been in the industry rapping since 1996 when hip hop was a big deal. Well, not a big deal, but a big deal to the heads. And I then got on to start recording, producing music in 2005, 6. And then I was the first lady on the cover of Hype magazine, just after you guys, I think, or something. But like I looked at your guys' cover and I dreamt about the day when I'm here, and then it came. And then I've just been in the game trying to push female rappers, hip hop, in terms of taking female voices seriously, trying to also be the voice that doesn't just write about let's twerk our asses. Can we write about like other things? So I've just been in the game trying to change the narrative and the voice of females in hip hop, and then I guess in hip hop as a whole as well. And yeah, there's just a lot of other stuff I got to do, and I'm here now with Slicker.
So the time that you have been away, what have you been doing?
I was growing up. I gave birth to 2 cute but sometimes annoying little creatures. I settled down. I was, sort of relooking the whole hip hop thing, because I think only in the past 5 years it's really blowing up and you can actually make like a proper living off of it. And there's a lot more people listening to hip hop than what it was before. So I've just used that time to really, I went corporate, raise my kids. I was like, you know what, hip hop can miss me, but you can't run away if it's that innate and ingrown in you.
So I mean, it's innate, but you got like a family, you got like a career. What makes you decide to just say, you know what, I'm gonna break my routine of being in the family, I'm gonna break my routine of what my career requires, and get in the studio and consistently get in the studio to end up doing an EP?
I think it took me a very, when you finally get that corporate job where you're like, this is it, man. And then I was like, I don't need hip hop, I'm fine. But then the bullish, can I swear? You can't swear. The bullshit you actually experience in corporate is the same as in any industry, in any game. So I started also realizing, like, here you are dying, you're ending up being overstretched, you're doing things that you aren't passionate about. And there's something bigger. Like for me, I think even apart from 9 to 5, I always felt that there was something bigger to my story than just to end up, I work, I get a title, I live my life. So I think there was just a kick in 2018 that said, leave your job. And a month later, Castle Light hollered, and they were doing that nice big gig with all the females. And even at that time, I was just like, oh, this is nice. Oh, at least what I was working towards is happening, and at least they recognize. But it turned out like when I got on that stage and I performed, and I remember like the rehearsals even before, like I had like Relo on some dog, you need to come back, you need to come back. And I'm like, yeah, I'll see, So it became like an I'll see thing. But I think once being on that stage, I was just like, I can't deprive my body and my being and also like people of what I feel like is inside of me. So that's when I joined forces with Farah, and she was at the performance and she saw it and she was like, dope one. So I was like, okay, well, hey, if Farah, who I've been struggling to get a hold of, is actually like paying attention, let me get on board and let me start working. But it had to be more than just get PR and that's it. So I know that there's a lot more work that one has to put in. So then last year, I then went on to start writing. I then met up with Beat Mushini, we chatted, and then we said, okay, fine, let's get this. And look, for me, was it, I'm giving, feel like now I'm giving myself, it's it or nothing. Like, I'm going all with everything I have, and then I can finally say, because you can never say, oh, the hip hop, the game doesn't love me, nobody takes me seriously. Take yourself seriously first. So, like, right now, for me, it's all or nothing.
And then how do you link up with Beat Machine?
So Big Pushini, I knew him from back in like 2008 or something. We were introduced by a lady, I don't know if you know her, but she was like working for TUT and she was a DJ pushing hip hop. And she always said to me, you need to hook up with this guy. He's a great producer, whatever, whatever. But at that time, I was Ms Supa, Hype magazine cover. I'm just like, I'll see, you know. But then at the same time, I think Leon, he was also building ground. And then he was also like, I'll see. So we just said, I'll see, I'll see. We hooked up again, did a song for one of his projects, which he never released. And then we just never took each other seriously. It even went to a point where he came to my house to help me set up my studio, but we never got to talking to say, okay, when do we work together? So I think last year I put all my cards on the table. He put all his cards on the table, and it was like, okay, fine. Are we ready? Can we do this? Can we work? And yeah, finally, sometimes also, I must just tell people, when you talk, okay, when you say, this is my problem to a producer or whatever, and somebody gives you an answer, then you can work, but you can never like not think you cannot work with someone if you've never asked them, you know?
That's a real
So,
thing.
yeah, so I got to talk to him, and then, yeah, we collaborated. We spent numerous Fridays dedicated writing, recording, going back and forth, and then, yeah, got done.
So, I mean, we were talking, and you asked me to give you feedback on your EP, which I listened to, and I was like, yeah, but Ms Supa, I've heard all the tracks. It's just like one track that's new there.
No, there's not one song that's new.
And a remix of another track that I've heard before.
There's only two songs that you've heard. You've only heard P.S.A. and P.S.A. remix. First track, Batini, you haven't heard that. I haven't released it. Second track is, what is it? Hearsay. No, second track is P.S.A. Third track is Dinsang, which you haven't heard before. I released on the Friday, but it was leading up. And then there's the Hearsay and Hearsay remix, which is still new.
I promise you, I've heard all the tracks, eh?
How have you heard all the songs?
I don't know. I promise you, I'm sure I've gotten these songs. There's only 2 new songs there.
Which one are the new songs according to you? And which ones have you heard apart from P.S.A.?
Because I don't know them off by heart. I think the intro, the first track, you know, and the remix at the end.
So you've the intro at the beginning, but have you heard Dinsang before?
Dinsang. Yeah, I heard it.
The week before the EP was dropped, right?
Oh, so I heard it the week before. So that's why maybe I felt I've heard it before. Oh.
No, I dropped it the Friday before, and you guys ran with it and, get some few people, lucky people, a free download. But that I ran the week before. The only thing that people have heard is P.S.A. and P.S.A. remix. The rest is 6 songs. So you've essentially heard a third of the EP, but the rest of the EP you haven't heard.
So you wanted me to call you back for 2 songs? Got it.
For 2 songs, for 4 songs, Nika. For 4 songs. Not 2 songs. Dude. For 4 songs. It's 4 songs. That first song, that third song, that fourth song, and that 6th song. Those tracks you haven't heard, and that's what I want feedback on.
Yeah, I felt like I've heard all the songs, Sorry, I'm actually at a shoot in the hood, by the way, so that's why I keep on looking up and down.
Ish, when's that?
No, we are quarantining in the hood, quarantine interview with Ms Supa in the hood while she's in the burbs in her crib.
Who do says it's the burbs, by the way?
So like now I want to find out, with you being in the game and with all the artists that you work with on the EP, particularly like, you know, the some of the guys already have built names and the females in the game. How's the respect and the dynamic between the generation of the guys before, like, that are in the game right now? How's the relationship and that dynamic of you guys calling up calling them up in studio and working with them?
Calling the younger ones or the older ones?
Yeah.
I think the younger ones are easier to access. I think for myself, because I've sort of, as much as I've taken a break, I've always been involved in the game, ran the ladies on the mic. I'm always like trying to be, you know, I'm here if you need to talk type vibe. But I've realized that there's like a big disparity between the old school and the new school type thing, you know? And maybe it's not necessarily just sound, but it's sometimes just like being able to access that person. So I think there's still like a lot of work that needs to be done. Like if I could have a slumber party with Yugen Black Rock and invite Nadia, and, you know, like just have a big ass party with like the oldest generation and the sound and the new sound now. Because right now I think everybody just looks at everybody and thinks, oh well, you know, she's busy with that, which, you know who I am if you're going from the olden days or the older generation. So I think it might be a mix of that, and also like the older generation is like, you know how, okay, personally for me as an old head, I had to get out of my head to say, this new music is whack. And you know, like when you listen to the same old Keith Murray album from like 50,000 years ago, but you just do not want to listen to J. Cole because the sound is just not the same. Nobody gets it, man. But once you actually like open your mind, you're like, this is actually quite cool. Like people are having fun, you know, can we stop? And J. Cole doesn't even have much fun. He has fun, but still, you know, brings like real heat at the same time. So I think it's also that maybe that like kumbaya moment or a shot of tequila between two ladies. But I think it's just we need to try and fix that. And I also think from my side, what I've realized is a lot of like the young rappers don't consider or don't even know the old female rappers that started the stuff. Our Ms Cuba, even Godesa. Some people are surprised that Godesa is, and it's like, okay, well, you're lost. So I think it's just that whole education thing for the older generation, for the new generation, to actually like know who paved the way and start showing those people respect, and then start the collaborations, because you can't now be sucking up as a Miss Ntavi. You can't be like now trying to fight with like a rapper that's new and current to say, I want to do a song with you. It should be the other way around. And obviously respect is earned, if you can't just demand it. But I think we need to find like a balance of where the younger appreciate the old, and the old actually like appreciate what the young ones are doing, and not just looking at it from, yo, back in my days, man, things were the best or whatever. Like, let's take all of that. You're not going to get far with that. But I'm speaking for myself, and I think what I've maybe realized, this might be what the issue between bringing the old and the new.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's why I was happy when I was speaking to Nomuzi and she kind of mentioned you, and in sort of like, yo, we the two chicks from the East that are on the cover magazines, like, you know, broke ground or whatever the case be. And she was acknowledging that, which I think was very important, you know, because the female story for hip hop is not really articulated quite often or even
Yeah,
shared. You know what I
it's
mean?
very diluted.
Well, what do you think is in the way of that, besides just blaming things on guys?
It's your fault. No, I also think, you know what? Like when things happen the way they did, like in terms of like SA hip hop especially, and female hip hop, I think the way things worked out was that, you know, when like it was at the forefront and we were struggling and pushing as females, people were just like trying to acclimatize to guys rapping. Like this hip hop thing was a new thing. So as a girl, you were like sort of fighting harder, because you're like, guys, I'm also here. No, you're too naked. No, you're too pretty. Or no, you're not pretty enough, or whatever. So I think through the whole narrative story that we went through, we were like just like these, like we went to ciphers, we did all this stuff. But because the guys had to get an opportunity just to say, this is what rap is all about. By the time, you know, hip hop could have brought the females along, it was maybe too late, and people sort of started, I'd say, not dying down, but the steam, you also lose steam if you're doing something and it's not giving you rewards. So I think that story then got distorted because, like for instance, I read somewhere that, and I love I love it to bits, and they're like, this is the first time a female has ever hosted a thing where it's an all-female cast and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, when I dropped Complete Puzzle in 2007, I had an all-star female crew. I had poets, I had singers, I had rappers. We were all gathered at Rendezvous at the State Theatre. But am I now supposed to go to every media outlet and say, guys, please do your research, or should I really put it up online and say, okay, this is all the things that a female has achieved before this new wave or generation? So I don't know what, I think the media also lags on us a bit. And I think, yes, guys did control the market. You guys are more charming than we are. We just either annoying or people hate us. But guys are just like, you guys are, you can, man, all these media outlets are just on your case and whatever. I'm not saying this media, but I'm just saying that I think there was a chance for media to really like showcase and follow the parts of females. And even for endorsement and just like an opportunity. We weren't given that. We were just like these people that literally, the song called with this one pair of sneakers. All I had was one pair of like Adidas sneakers. I used to drive from, not even drive, take it or record, you know? And those kind of stories, people look at Supa and it's like, dude, hip hop, me, I was from Minefield. I'm like from the burbs, but I used to like take 50,000 taxis if there was a guy, a producer who said they have a studio and they're willing to record me. So those kind of stories, I don't know, maybe you also, because you're good at this. Yeah, you're very good at this. But I don't know how those stories get told so that people understand that a lot of the first weren't the first. It's just that they weren't documented. And I don't know what needs to change, but yeah, we can have other conversations about that.
Now, at this point, you know, I think you're in a unique position as a female rapper that's active in the game. Because, you know, you got people like Ms Supa who aren't as active in the game, you know. But you literally like probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, probably the only female in the game that's active that literally has kids, you know, and has a family. So when you get in the studio, what inspires your content and what message? And that's really what I wanted to ask you, just going back to the EP also. What inspired the content on that, considering your unique positioning in the game?
My content was driven mainly by competing with myself. So because I have been like not active, not writing for 3-4 years, I needed to figure out like, first, can I write music? So okay, can I write? And then you write a verse, you're like, this is weak, tear it up, you're like, you know. And then I also then had to say, okay, fine, like once I got my pen game back, you know, proper, but now it's typed on my cell phone. Then I was like, okay, what do you want to do? Because I've got stories and I've got a story, but what do you want to do? So I first needed to know that I can rap and I can still rap good. So then I did a couple of songs or did a couple of bars or verses where I'm like, okay, you still got it, you know, punchlines and this. Then I had to say, okay, like for instance, track 1 with Batini. Batini, I'd never rapped in Zulu before. And I want to start embracing my culture, my heritage. Because how can you be a Zulu, Ayandangiti, coming from Newcastle with, you know, like all these roots, but you don't embrace them. So I had to say, can I rap in Zulu? And then I was also stuck in this thing of, can I rap fast? Can I do like Eminem by myself? So then I was like, okay, what can you do? Let's see, let's try. And I tried, and it worked out. And I was like, okay, great, you can do it. Once I put it in, like, you know, locked it up in the studio, I was like, dopeness, this sounds good. For instance, with P.S.A, what was my message behind that? My message was, bitches, sit down, stop it. Like, let's start respecting people that paved the way before. You can't come with like 1 or 2 songs and think, okay, now you're the queen. Can we like respect just hip hop, respect the history? And I think with P.S.A, it's because I tried to infiltrate a lot of the females that influenced me in my career, because at 13, which was 1996, a long time ago, those were the females I could like listen to. And I needed to do every line to tie to those females, but linking it and making it current, because I feel like females aren't respected, and then we'll forever have these new reigning queens, Abokadi B and stuff. And it's like, yo, guys, that's an insult to everybody else that try to do this. And when you just turn a blind eye, like, you know. So I was going a bit gully, and I was probably fighting for the cause and the struggle there. And just to say, let's look back at the story and not make the story of hip hop and females just fickle, like any day's new chewing gum comes on and then that's it. No, respect. And then for songs like Dinsang, I'm always also complaining on my songs. I'm always trying to like the master writer and stuff. And there I was like, I want to have fun. I want to have a song that I personally can jam to. I've probably written in all my life 3 songs in Sun, 3 songs that I can jam to. And I always like to push myself, but I was doing it in such a way that let me not jam to it and like still, what is this, like still be like, I could have done a better bar here, I could have done my verse better. So I was just trying to do a holistic jam song, but it's still me. And then you find like with songs like Hearsay is fun. Hearsay is the coolest, like it's just a vibey dance song, but it also has a message about just the disrespect of how females like just, you know, like the first line, like I say, I birthed 2 kids and he still calls me baby. Like, you know, like where you are fighting for like, but why did people like these niggas don't give you respect? So it's that kind of a song, and this hearsay about what people say about you and what you've done. So that was that theme, and then I got to feature the other ladies, you know, about P.S.A remix. Then on the last, I did a hearsay remix, but it's a beat change, and I added Nandila on it. And Nandila then just totally annihilated, killed it. But I think the theme would have been that my sound is just, I'm trying to test myself. My sound is also very different. I'm also all about female empowerment. And I just want to also have a good time. So I think that's the messages. And I'm probably still keeping the female, you know, issues and whatever. But yeah, that's basically what I went. I didn't go with a major sort of plan. I was just like, dude, how good can you rap? How good can you write this kind of song? How good can you do this? And then now that I've done that, I'm confident that if I go to studio now, when I go to studio after we're done being locked up, I can finally then record something without any limitations. I know what I can do and what I can't do, and I'm just going to go at it.
Yeah, because I mean, I also felt that like one thing I really picked up on your content was I want to say it's that aggression of an experienced type of rapper. You know, it's like it's an aggression of a generation that literally I don't think is even that aggression doesn't really exist. You know, even if like rappers are talking shit, and I'd literally like say like someone like Nomuzi. I think Nomuzi sometimes is just talking her shit. Like yeah, less than aggression. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you listen to Rouge is literally probably one of the few females, except like our Nandi, who you can also see Nandi's like lyrical content is inspired by an aggression of a generation. Do you feel that there is a different energy though with regards to um, how things are delivered or energy in the hip hop space right now?
in terms of delivery, are you asking like in terms of who's aggressive and who's just like doing their thing and just moving on with their
I'm
life?
listening to no, I'm listening to you that like even in your EP, you still and when I use aggression, I'm saying hard. I'm being hard, you know, hard MC, you know. Um,
Yeah,
uh, that's like almost a thing of a generation. You know, a generation was of hard MCs. You know, today it's a generation of melodic MCs. You know, a generation of emotional MCs. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah,
so one thing I picked up from your EP is that there's that aggression, like no nonsense taking kind of delivery that like I haven't heard in a while from the female MCs. You know, where maybe a bit from Rouge, but like that's what I kind of heard from it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I hear you because I am aggressive, and I think with Roots, I mean, I think when I first heard like Mbongo, for instance, I was like, yo, this girl is hard. You know, that was like when I set up and listened, like, okay, snap, you know. But then I think also the industry also has this thing of like, we all now have to rush to make sing songs, and we can make sing songs that are hip hop, but like, you know, we get pressurized to like, no, soften it down. The people aren't gonna like you if you're doing this, that. So there is that you can see try to then talk rap, then now you start like softening it down so you can be palatable or easier to consume. So I think probably with me going hard is because like right now I've got nothing to lose. Eh? I have nothing to
Mm.
lose.
And
Maybe
I
like
think it
my
also
second, third
like
album. Yeah.
and I think also it is a differentiator. And I mean, I don't want to also talk about like female MCs, like female MCs or male MCs. My question comes
Yeah.
in, your story is different also. Your reality is different also. You know what I mean? So it's a case of,
Ooh, not tender and a yandis, yeah.
doing the shit that I want to do.
Are you back?
You know what I mean? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Huh?
I can hear you now. You went off for a
I
bit.
can hear.
You went off for a bit. I
I can
couldn't
hear me
hear.
now. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I can hear
So
you.
what I was saying is that like you literally like I think there's more content in what you can do. Is my sound off? Can you hear me?
No, I
Test
can hear
10
you.
then. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel that like when I was asking you about like your corner, you almost have the story where you got kids, you know, you got a family, you got a you literally like you're working in corporate, like the type of content that you can write, and you're a liberated woman doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Liberated woman doing what you want to do, and that's where I lost you.
Say what?
I lost you at liberated woman.
Yeah, you got me now. So I just
Now
felt
I got
that
you
like
now.
there's more freedom to create more content that talks that. You know what I mean? Because the
Yeah.
fact that you are rapping is powerful. You know what I mean? It's just powerful that you're rapping 15 years later, 10 years later, whenever. It's powerful. You know, you just back at what you wanted to do. No one is holding you. I think there's a story to that. You know what I mean?
That story is coming. That story is coming.
Is
So
this
I
what we're
think, let
gonna
me,
get? It?
sorry?
Is this what we're gonna get on the album?
The story is going to get on the album because that's why I'm saying the EP was just to test things, test things, test yourself. But I mean, I know that the content, there's a lot of things I want to talk about myself that maybe are too personal. I've also been a very private person. And so I think like right now I'm realizing as I grow older that there's no point in hiding because a lot of people are going through the same thing that you are. And also at the same time, I think you probably know how the industry works. You come here and I mean, like, I think, for instance, my last album EP was solid. That was like me talking about myself. And no one likes listening to that. So it's almost like you have to find a strategy to say, okay, fine, let me first reel you in and then I can start talking about the things I want to talk about. Because if I talk about them, then I'm just going to be that person that just talks about these random things that no one cares about. But I think it's just trying to get people to listen first.
So we're looking forward to more content, more music from you once you're out of this level 4, level 5 situation.
And also, you can look forward to music. I think we just need to get rid of the situation. But I think after this, I need to get on track with doing a full album. I just didn't want to do a full album like without context or without anything. So I think now it's time to push. For now, I'm going to probably push all the songs on the EP. I've got favorites that I think deserve to get their own airplay, and then from there on take it then to a full proper album. But I don't want to rush the process because, especially if I'm writing from my heart, like writing from my heart is different because I can literally sit with you now and I'm writing on a tissue paper. So those kind of tissue papers come together and then you form like a whole body of work. Whereas if I'm just like, okay, I'm going to studio, I'm going to do an album talking about like things that affect me, I'm probably not going to get that one right. So it also will take time, but it's coming.
So now I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you a shout about the EP, and we're gonna have a conversation about that. I actually wanted to call you about it, but I wanted to just take a jab and say, what do you want me to give you feedback on 2 songs? I think I've heard you sang, but I'm gonna give you a shout though on that. I mean, I listened to it and then like I got caught up because it was during the weekend, so I couldn't call you. But I'm gonna give you my feedback because I had some thoughts though.
Okay, cool. So track 1, track 3, track 4, track 6 are the new songs, and the others are just P.S.A and P.S.A remix.
No, I've heard the other songs as a side note, but yeah, let's leave that for another day. I'll tell you offline.
Okay, fine. Hey,
But
I don't want to hear from you. I'm scared of you now. I don't want to hear from you.
no. But generally, I mean, like, it's everything I've been talking about. It's like, it's just like, I really do feel that there's a gap. I'm glad to see you collaborating with people who are girls that are doing well, and without you bringing in your history in the way, because that's the problem with people who've been in the game for long. They always want to make their history more important than the present of whoever they want to work with that's current. You know what I mean? So I'm glad
Yeah.
you did that, and I'm glad you did the music. I'm glad you brought in the aggression, and just to be in the game, man, at this day and age, and just say I'm gonna drop a tape. It's like I was being DJ Spoon. It's just powerful, you know what I mean? And it's a sign of liberation. You know,
Yeah.
there's no other female. I tend to be corrected because before people get offended, but there's no other female in South Africa that's been in a generation and then went quiet and comes back again in a generation. It takes a certain conviction and dedication to just do what you used to do 15 years ago and be at a certain place and just go, I'm coming into a whole new market. Will they accept me? Won't they accept me? You know what I mean? So, regardless of the music, already what you've done is powerful. Already what you've done is just like said, I'm free, I'm liberated, and I can't be told when, how, or not because I'm a woman, because maybe because I'm from a generation. So forget even the whole gender thing. Just because you literally broke the generation bias, you said I'm gonna do it. Already that's legendary. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yes. So shout out. You beat me. I've been trying to drop music too. I'm like, but like, see, there you are. You've inspired me. I'm inspired.
All I remember from you is For Room, S.O.A. to Selimatunzi Cribs. And no one doesn't even know that song anymore, man. We released the old mixtapes. Remember that song?
What did I say?
For Room, S.O.A. to Selimatunzi Cribs. That doesn't sound good. Remember that song? It was on like a hype mixtape of some sort.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that. I talked a lot of shit, Uh, but now I gotta be
They must
responsible with
bring
the
that
shit I
shit
talk.
back, though.
No, we're
What?
gonna bring it back. I just need to be more responsible with the shit that I talk now.
You must. You must. And feature me. I
Yeah,
always want to feature. Eh? If I can just get a slicker feature.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Like I can feature. For me to feature is quicker. You can get me on the feature quicker than you can get me to drop my own song.
Oh my word, really?
Yeah, so do your song, let me beat and everything. So feature right first. So it's all within a week.
Okay, Sharp. When I'm starting on the project, I'll remind you of this.
Okay, cool. You don't need to remind me.
Yeah.
You just need to play it.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. All
You're
right, Ms
on.
Supa. Thank you for everything. What else you want to say?
Thank you to you guys for always supporting me. Your team is amazing. Thank you guys. Like yes, like I feel like you also like Slicker on Live as a whole. Like you're very supportive, and not just of myself. I guess for everybody else. But I think thank you for just always picking up what I'm throwing and like giving it a shout out and stuff. It's really mad appreciated. So thank you, and thank you to you. And yeah, I'll catch you on the phone call and be nice.
Of course. You're an OG, man. Come on now.
I look 13 though. Come on.
Yeah, so do I.
True though, true. Okay, cool. Thank you,
Peace,
dude.
yeah. It's just,
Bye.
Bye.
Broadcast live